rise and join me in... I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Yes. Zach Tucker.
Here.
Kurt Schultz.
Here.
Jennifer Eden. Here. Mike Cunningham.
Present.
David Walker.
Here.
Herman Ferguson.
Here.
Pam Loeffler. Here.
I want to add the Michigan Public Service Commission's order regarding Public Act 233 for discussion and possible action.
New business 5.
And we'll do
Item
that
5.
under new business 5.
Okay.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Support.
Gentlemen. It's been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. Next is approval of the consent agenda. The regular board meeting minutes from September 17th, 2024. The treasurer's report, September 30th, 2024. Clerk's warrants and bills from October 9th, 2024.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. Next, communications. We have a memo from Gerald Fisher regarding extractive industrial ordinance legal work, September 19th, 2024.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to receive and place on file communication number 1. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. Public remark, first opportunity for public comment. Please come up to the speaker and when called upon, so you go ahead and come on up. And you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening, board members. My name is Mario Artega. I'm with McKenna. I know tonight you're considering the proposal for planning services. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here tonight and available for any questions. Just to let you know about the history of the firm and any other questions you might have regarding our proposal for services. So at the appropriate time, I can take any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Lois Ford from Walnut Shores Drive, and I'm here tonight. Sarah Dolman, Jersey, is not able to be here, and she asked me to share her remarks with you. I am sorry that I cannot attend in person this evening. I would like to address the board on the matter of planning firm consideration. I wasn't sure an email would reach you in time, so I asked Lois to read this on my behalf. Regarding the selection of a planning firm, I hope that each board member has taken time to read through the 2 proposals thoroughly and has had the opportunity to directly speak to the planners being considered. Although some have made that effort, I believe most have not. I don't know what standard operating procedures were in the past when our township contracts with firms of this nature, but I would certainly think that an interview or direct Q&A of some fashion would enable our decision makers to make informed decisions as to who they are hiring before voting. Properly vetting, questioning, and understanding who it is we are partnering with is of the utmost importance. In recent years, several critical issues have come through our planning department. Hiring a planner that will represent the needs and wishes of our community well is critically important. If you, the board members, have not yet interviewed or taken the time to speak directly to these planners, then I certainly hope you will table a vote on the matter until such due diligence can take place. I also understand the necessity to address planning and zoning matters in a timely fashion. Immediate services have been offered and are available on an interim basis. Perhaps that's the more appropriate action, if any, given the timing of upcoming board transitions. Thank you. Sarah Dolman, Jersey. Okay, Pam, I'll give this to you so you can put it into the record.
Thank you.
Yes. Chris?
Hi, Chris. As a concerned resident, thank you for putting this MPSC thing on the agenda today. And I'm a resident taxpayer and whatnot, and I want to address this issue. It has significant impact to our community. Recently, it's come to my attention that the MPSC has enacted changes to the Public Act 233, which directly affect our ability to regulate renewable energy projects through local zoning. It's not just a technical or administrative matter, and I hope you will discuss this intently, but it can, we as a community, we need to manage the control and control our future, not the state. So this is changes to the MPSC that are not legislated in that sense, so that's a big problem. The changes implemented include the following: overriding our ability to use an overlay map, which we've worked hard on. This map's been a critical tool for designating specific areas where renewable energy developments such as wind turbines, solar farms could be located. Without it, we lose a key element of local control, leaving us vulnerable to developments in this area, and we may not deem those appropriate. Invalidating our second one is invalidating our local ordinances. Our township ordinance for wind, solar, battery storage projects, which were designated to ensure compatibility with the state law and fill the gaps where we can, will no longer be considered as compatible renewable energy ordinances. The CREOs that you hear about, those will be gone. This essentially means we have no enforcement ordinances to protect our township's interest. Developers could move forward without having to adhere to our local regulations, even if they don't match state standards. This information was brought to us by official from a nearby township, and Foster Swift is involved in trying to assist by looking at possible bringing lawsuit against the township. And they really need to do this, so I'm encouraging you guys to get on board with that. Of course, they recognize, Foster Swift, the seriousness of this issue, and they want to unite townships across that they're working with directly in order to be able to bring collective actions against the state for this. This is really important. So as a township, we face a decision: do we join this lawsuit and stand up for our local authority, or do we allow these changes to take place? That's really a big consideration. The deadline for joining the legal effort is November 8th, so that's just after the election. So this is really important. We don't have the luxury for waiting for a new board to take office. A decision needs to be made now of whether we join this effort or not. So while this board still has, you guys have the opportunity to act on this, and we call for that action. If we don't address the issue, it could be too late to protect our interests. So thank you for considering this on the agenda tonight. It's really important. Please commit at least to contacting Foster Swift and get some more information as soon as possible, and we really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Yes, Scott, where's the timer?
Scott Beaver, White Lake Road. Very good, Chris. That was wonderful. I agree with Chris. I just found this out. I was already thinking about that. I mean, we need to look into that, with different townships to see if they want to come together. I really think we need to have skin in the game. All right, this proposal for planning services, we got rid of McKenna, and I don't really want to go back to McKenna. I mean, it's not a personal thing, but from what I'm hearing, what I know from Fenton, their planner is just fine, and we can use that. I don't think there's any conflict of interest there. Shouldn't be. This road improvement project, I came in and talked to Jennifer. I mean, you did steer me to a lot of good things that I didn't know. But I want to see things more in black and white. I want to know where money's coming from, which she told me, but I can see it better. I don't understand it better unless I see documentation. What the money we're taking in, where's the money going out? I know the RU money's got to show going back into our account, our funds, and then show it going. I want to see that. I just want to see it done right. So there's no questions and nobody tagging people. If we do it that way, we're more, open on this to show people before we vote on it, and then nobody will get tagged, because people will understand. I mean, the problem is, you can't get 3,000 or 4,000 people like me come in. I come in and we talked about issues. I was here probably an hour. So if you do that, you're never going to get anything done, girl. So like I said, I think the road improvements, I think we should be able to push that to the other board. I mean, because we need to have I want stuff explained to the people better. Not, office holiday schedule's fine. But other than that, this legal stuff with the solar panels, like I said, I'm like this on it, but I just don't like anybody telling me I don't have any skin in the game. And they're taking the skin out of our game. So, okay?
Thank you. Yes.
Dean Hans, Walnut Shores. I'd just like to say I appreciate the work you guys have done on bringing together and getting quotes for some of this stuff. I understand some of these decisions are essentially made right away, but I think some of these decisions on these contracts you're looking at tonight should be and could be put off. I think it'd only be fair to the new administration that we at least have an opportunity to talk with these people. We're the ones going to be working with for the next 4 years. I'd like an opportunity to meet with these people. So with the rest of the people coming into the administration in November, I think it's only fair that we have that opportunity, if not before we come in, again, to further decision to who you choose. So we let us do that after. Thank you.
Jeff? All right, anyone else? Being there none, we'll go ahead and move on. Moving on to new business. Proposals for planning services. So we have 2 of those.
Mr. Chairman, I have a conflict of interest.
Okay.
So because of that conflict of interest, I have to excuse myself from the discussion. So I'll be in the hallway with my Eagles. It's just
As the board knows, we have received 2 bids, one from CIB Community Image Builders and one from McKenna Professional Planning Services. We have had McKenna in the years prior. I believe, if my memory is correct, we had them from 1994 until 2021 when we retained the ones that we have now. I wanted to mention that I'm sorry that we're losing the planner that we have now. I think they do a phenomenal job. They work well with us. It's unfortunate that they could not work with the residents or with, I guess, just with the residents of this community. It saddens me that we had to lose ownership of a good firm over actions that could have been prevented. However, with that being said, I have worked with McKenna when I first come into office. I had them. I did not personally had a problem with them. I know we decided not to renew their contract. If my memory serves me, it's because, we kind of thought we needed a change at that time. I do see a couple things that they have added that were not services that we had when I was first in office and they were here. They're proposing that a member of their planning team is on site at the township hall twice a month for 4-hour periods. We did not have that prior. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We've never had that.
They are saying that they're going to do annual training. They're going to do annual planning and zoning report and mapping, redo maps yearly as we instruct them to do. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. I think both quotes are very good. I have a little preservation of CIB because they are the planner of Fenton, city planner for Fenton. I do know they have been there for 30 years. When they came to us in 21, I had the same reservations, and I have talked to Carmen on that opinion. I do believe in
I want to add on that.
some way, shape, or form, that's my personal feeling.
Right. Well, when we wanted to use one of their legal consultants, their attorney had said that that's a conflict of interest and that we shouldn't
right.
share consultants being a neighboring community.
That is true, I forgot about that. Also, in 2021, when they applied, they did not have any townships in their portfolio. Since then, and I have commended them, they have added 3 very smaller townships. Oh, no, one's on the little bit bigger side, but they've had a couple of them for a year, 2 years, and one for a year and a half. So I am pleased that they've, stretched out and reached, because the planning of townships, I believe, is a lot different. The needs of a township versus a city are different.
Much different.
So I'm glad that they did, expand their services, and I did personally speak to both companies that put in a bid, and, I appreciate both of them coming forward and, putting in a bid. I was afraid we weren't going to get anybody because of the behavior.
And then prior to McKenna putting their bid in, their president, John Jackson, gave me a call. And he said, Mike, we're interested in doing it, but obviously, what could we do better, and what mistakes did we make that you, or any concerns that you might have? And the big concern with them is that we were always getting different consultants. It seemed like we'd get going with a consultant and then a new consultant, and they had to get caught up to speed. And it seemed like we weren't much of a priority. And John assured us that that will no longer be the case, that they'll have some stability with that, and would we accept their proposal? And I said, if you can correct that, I'd be more than glad to accept it. So.
How long will this contract be for?
They're annual contracts, and you can always renew them or move on from them. Every contract we do always has a term on it.
Well, I've heard a lot of good things about McKenna, but the reservation that I have, in my personal opinion, is there is a new board, and I think that we should delay this and not make a decision and let the new board do that. That's my personal opinion, and I'm gonna stay with that.
Don't we, or do we, phrase it as a question, do we have matters that we need a planner to attend to?
Yes.
Lots.
Right now?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think we have caveat of time. As I understand Herman's point of view, and while I may think that too, time can't stop, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We have
had this
people that are
conversation internally,
wanting
but
things
no,
to
we've
go
got
through.
We got stuff to do.
Right, and by the time the new board takes office and we actually get down and dirty and be able to do some of those things, it may be January. And I think asking people who are going through that planning process to now wait another
I think
months
once the
is
board
asking
comes
too
on
much.
and they convene and meet and interview them, they can make a decision. It wouldn't take long, but just giving them the opportunity to sit down with them and discuss them and ask questions.
Right, and you have to
We still have a
understand that each of
statutory
them.
duty to do our job, though.
Right, and each of them are
Doesn't
all
end.
new, right? So if they're not worked with the planner per se, they're not going to have any experience more so than the board that you have in front of you. We've at least worked with McKenna. I've spoken to CIB twice now, once in Twenty-Wada, now this. Both of them, to be honest, are very, very good firms. I think they can both offer us, good services. I just have a little reservation about them being, CIB being the planner of Fenton. I think down the road that could nip us in the booty.
Especially when it
And
comes
I
to
do-
annexation.
Right, exactly. And I do
That's a huge conflict.
like that, McKenna is saying they're going to give us someone 4 hours
What's the price?
twice in.
What's the difference in price?
McKenna is a little bit cheaper. But they're both in the ballpark. I mean, you get what you pay for, so.
Does anybody have any questions of the representative from McKenna before we move on? Someone make a motion.
I make a motion to accept McKenna's bid for planning services.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to accept the McKenna bid for planning services. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
No.
Motion carries. All right, you can get,
Who seconded that?
it was,
Kurt.
Kurt. And could somebody let David Walker know that he can come back in? He got it, it's already, yeah, David got it. Or I'm sorry, Ross got it.
I was gonna say,
Ross
David,
got
went
it.
to get David?
Ross and Goliath, David and me. All right. Were you able to solve the world's problems in that time?
Not a one.
Okay. We tried to make it quick.
Not a single one.
All right, moving on
For
to
the record,
item
it's a
number
problem.
2 is the assessing consulting contract. We had this on once before. Township attorney has reviewed it, made a few corrections on it. You guys have all read this communication that we handed out from our assessor, basically explaining, the value of what Bruce brings. He's over 40 years of experience, and he has about almost 30 years in Tyrone Township. So he knows every property in this township intimately as far as assessing goes. One of the big values that he brings to the township is that when the Michigan Tax Tribunal appeals come in, attorneys handle those. Bruce handles them, and he wins almost every one of them. I think he's lost one in 15 years. And it really wasn't a loss, it was an adjustment.
I believe Alexa and him work on both of them.
Yeah, so now he's trained Alexa on how to handle those. If you were to hire an attorney to handle those, there are 3 to 4, maybe 5,000 a pop. We did 4 last year, so basically he covered what it would cost us by providing that legal service. So it's a net zero loss. I mean, it's an actual win to have him on board.
We have used and still use consultants. Typically, they're paid hourly. I think we're getting a deal if we do it this way. I personally don't care as long as we pay him. I do think he's valuable. He has helped me personally, too, with a couple questions that I had in the tax program. He's very knowledgeable, and I don't think you could buy that, anywhere else for that kind of money.
He helped train some of your department
Yes.
in treasury
And,
from
well, yeah.
assessing.
I think he had his hands in all of those.
He's-
Could do them all. I did reach out to some communities that are relatively our same size townships, and most of them have at least 3 on-staff, full-time assessing associates, and we have 2. So, assessing, I think, is one of those departments that not everybody knows everything that the department entails and what is needed or what is done on the back side of it.
It's meticulous, tedious work.
Right.
Do we anticipate any appeals in the next 45 days?
Yeah, we've got a couple pending right now, I think. Yeah, we've got 3 going right now. Is there anybody against it? Well, let's have a motion then.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the assessing consulting contract. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed?
Nay.
Oh, okay. One's opposed. Motion still carries. Next are the road improvement estimates. We got estimates for Heartland Road to be paved from Center Road all the way up to White Lake Road. That's a $950,000 project, which we would pay half. which would be not to exceed $475,000. And then we have Carmer Road from Heartland Road to White Lake. That would not to exceed $245,000 on a $490,000 project. And then we want to gravel Fawcett Road from Mabley Hill all the way to Runyon Lake Road, but it's split up into two different sections. So the gravel work for that is $133,000 and $140,000. So we already have the money in the road fund for this.
We have just slightly under,
Okay.
but their estimates are typically high historically. So,
And there's plenty of money in the general fund if we needed to.
well, with the sell
Slide
with
some
the
over.
REUs, that
These
money's
are
gonna
the
be in the road fund.
Yeah, plus we got the REU sale that's gonna,
These are the same contracts that we usually have with the county, where if it goes over that cost, they cover the
Yep.
excess, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They can't bill us past their estimate.
Mike, do we still have any owing on sewer, or is that all paid that we had?
We have two bonds,
Two bonds on that?
two sewer bonds open, yeah.
Staggered, they're staggered bonds.
I am in favor of improving the roads, but as far as with that, what's the interest rate that we're paying on the sewer?
I would have to look for sure, but I think it was around 3%.
it's low.
It's low.
We had our bond price that we got that day, even the bond council was like, I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's,
I make a motion that we approve the roads.
Support.
It's been motion and supported to approve the road contracts. Any further discussion?
Will any of these pricing, or will any of this pricing change in the next 45 days?
Nope.
Okay.
If it does, they're gonna eat it.
Mike, when is that slated for next year?
Next year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
What a month did they give, like June?
It all depends on how the paving is done by a subcontractor.
Okay,
So what they do is they have
Take
different
pictures.
crews, so they have a crew that comes in and grinds, picks it up, and then the paving crew comes in behind and the striping crew comes in behind. So depending on how much work they have in the area will be determined, like we had our paving done here, pretty early. We've had them usually go late, but
we're gonna have some nice.
I would usually say
roads.
July to August is the safe bet on those.
Okay,
But, the sooner that you get your bids in, the sooner, you get your share of the private, the primary road preservation program money. So, yeah.
then what do we have, Mike, as far as in the future with paved roads that are like not in good condition? Because we've got a lot of them, like Heartland Road.
So I actually have a map.
Okay,
And
A
I've
list
mapped
of
everything
roads.
that we've repaved since 2012, is when we started paving roads. There are very few left that need to be done. And I'll give a list of that to Jennifer, and I'll prioritize it because there's a thing called a Paiser rating. It's on the Livingston County website, and you can go look at them. And I also ask very closely the road supervisor, because even though one might have a worse Paiser rating, one might be more dangerous, one might be traveled more, and he'll say, I would rather do this one than that one.
okay.
So
we do have an ongoing list,
and then,
both the gravel and the,
like on the Heartland Road, what they were doing with the maintenance on that one, that's why we picked, when we did Heartland Road up top the first time, he goes, Mike, we're coming all the way from Howe, and we're up there constantly, and it's costing us a fortune. So can you do that one? So those are the type of anomalies that, you have with the relationship with the road commission is, he'll let us know, these are the roads that we have, this is the priority, what do you think? And he'll say, well, I want to do this one and this one.
All right.
Okay, any other It's been motioned and supported to approve the road contracts. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Oh, we got a nay. Motion still carries. Should we just call you Mr. No? For
You can. Probably not. I could be swayed on these last two issues.
Okay, the office holidays. Pam, do you want to talk
Given the
about office holidays?
critical concern I have over those.
Pam, you want to talk about the schedule?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, on the 23rd, Monday, December 23rd, that would be the only day we're open, because of course, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we don't want employees here, nor the day after. However, we do have to be open that last week of the month for taxes.
One day,
One of
yep.
the days.
Statutory.
And that's for the 30th, but then we're moving into January, so we're coming back on the 2nd. We need to come back, but of course, January 1st, the day off. It's pretty typical of
So
what
you're
we
saying
do.
you want the whole day off on Christmas?
Well, some of us might not have that whole day off, but the employees should have the whole day off.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the holiday schedule. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
See, I told you.
Next, item number
Thanks,
5. Michigan Public Service Commission Order PA 233. Basically what they did is, and it's, oh my God, it's like MDOT and Eagle. These agencies get to write their own definitions and change their definitions of the law. And it's happened so many times in the last 15 years. It just, you mentioned Lansing involvement and my skin starts crawling because this is what happens. So we had this law that was passed and basically this commission has basically said, nope, township has absolutely zero authority, can't do anything. And that means that they walk up to the landowner, they go to the Michigan Public Service Commission, get their approval, and they're free to do what they want to do. We can't regulate a gosh darn thing, to put it mildly. And so Foster Swift is reaching out to their customers that they represent, asking them if they would like to join a class action suit. I spoke briefly with Laura Grinovich about it, and she said that, I said, you know, well, let's get down to the nuts and bolts on this. I go, you know, we are a member of the MTA, and, you know, we have invested a lot of money and time and resources in establishing alternate energy ordinances, and what are we looking at financially here? She goes, well, right now we have six townships that are on board, we're looking for 40. She goes, if I were to put on my best guess estimate hat, the 6 townships, if we were to file this brief with the appellate court, it would cost you about 10 grand each. However, MTA, which we're a member of, is doing the same thing. You know, is this, I'm not lobbying for or against this. I think that, you know, we have a situation here. If we want to put some more firepower and more juice into the pool for 10 grand after we've already spent money on the ordinance, that's fine. Or do we want to, you know, stand behind MTA and the money that we pay them for our lobbying and legal services? Either way, our voice is being heard from MTA, but we have this initiative that we can sign up for as well.
So at 6, they're hoping for 40?
Yes.
Yes.
Do they have any idea at this point what the potential take-up rate is? I mean, do we know in a week? Do we know in a day? Do we know in a month? I mean, obviously before
In
November
the words of
8th.
David
but-
Walker?
Yeah,
No.
okay. Okay, that's fine.
I was waiting for that moment. You know?
That's okay.
No,
I can live with that.
they don't. Heartland is also, Mike Homier, who actually wrote the communication to us, is their attorney. And he,
He's against it.
he's against it, but, yeah.
He's against participating, or?
Oh, no,
Oh, I thought that's what
no,
he said.
Heartland is against it. They decided that they were just gonna kind of wait this out a little bit. They're not gonna sign up on it. with Foster Swift and join the class action suit at this point.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Is there any, I guess my question is, how soon do you have to sign up? Would there be a way to sort of?
November
Because if
8th,
there's
I believe.
40, then the cost is
It
not
dilutes that cost,
diminished,
right?
right?
right.
So,
Well,
I don't know to do in less than a month.
you know, and obviously I'm looking for the better deal, but I don't think that $10,000 is too much at this point.
And somebody, at this point, if it's one, or if it's six, or if it's 10, or it's 20, somebody's gotta raise their hand to fight this. I'd rather not have somebody else drive that agenda, so.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go ahead and participate with the other townships at the recommendation of Foster Swift to fight the PA 233 override of the MPS.
Did you want to put a cap on that? Or do you want to just?
Well, I think you're already capped, aren't you? Because if you've got 6 at 10,000, the more you get, it
Well,
dilutes the number down.
I don't have
so-
anything in writing saying that. It's just, that was her guess.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
great. I hate
You know,
guesses.
one of those things where you sign the contract, you get on board and say, well, I know we said 10,000, but now
Well,
it's
now we're going for a
15,000.
couple.
I'll
more.
support you with
20.
a cap, David.
Yeah, and so, just for the record, I'm making this up, so in case you're wondering, anybody in the audience, in case you're wondering, I'm just making this up, an amount not to exceed $12,000.
I'll support.
That's kind of the number I was thinking too.
Okay.
All right, it's been motioned and supported to sign on with Foster Swift's lawsuit against the MPSC with a not-to-exceed amount of $12,000. Any further discussion?
I just want to mention to the board that the MTA is having a question and answer webinar this Thursday at noon. And if you want the link to register, email me.
Jennifer, if you can't watch that live, are they gonna have it where you can watch it again, or?
Sometimes they do, if you go on and register, then sometimes you can go sign on there later on in the day and watch it, but not always. They're just, it's a free webinar, and they do that from time to time on some big issues. I just wanted to let the board know that that's an option to
Yeah, if you can please send us the link,
listen. Okay, I'll send it out.
Cool.
something to do, watch.
Yep.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Wow. Got 2 in a row.
You better not oppose any of the motions.
No miscellaneous business, last public remark.
You made the motion, you better not.
All right,
We can.
the planning commission meeting was briefly touched the Liberty House, and I was told that they just wanted to pass it off to the board. And I asked a question, I said, did anybody even review the stuff she said she even prepared? And she didn't. Nobody, I was zeros. So, we didn't get a chance when they first came in for the 6th, I was told the state enforced us, but we did have the ability to be informed and come give the township our opinion on what we thought legally we could add on for restrictions. Okay, number one, security guards, they need to be trained to deal with these patients, certified 24/7. Okay, commercial fence 6 foot around the property, whether it's 12 acres or 34 acres. She just went there and patched it all up. It's hodgepodge. It's a joke. There's holes under fence that we can crawl through. There's places, and she didn't even do the whole thing. She's claiming she did. So that's an issue. Gate security, I got video after video after video. They're backed up out in the roads. This 18-wheeler can't get in the gate. It's tied up for 20 minutes, a half hour. I was out there arguing with the guy that works there. And they couldn't even get the truck out of there. This is week after week. Back up. People coming up to the gates, honking their horn to get out. I'm right across the street. But we can get into that detail later. I got some. Okay, commercial trucks should be restricted from going in. They're just too big for that entrance. Gondola, they don't need a gondola. 6 to 12 people, we got a township here, we got curb cars. That big truck comes in there moving back, moving, it's big, it's huge. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what a gondola is, sorry.
It's a big gondola, the big old tub.
Dumpster.
They have the parking lots, a big commercial.
Yeah, dumpster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dumpster,
okay,
sorry.
gotcha.
And I think we should impose a 1 patient per room with private baths, if not now, in the future. She's got a beauty shop in the house. I called the state, she's not licensed. Parking not adequate for 12 people. She's gonna have 12 people with guests on the weekend. There's not enough parking. We need to get a real number on the staff and the patients. She's all over the place on that. Each building, separate septic fields, I think should be done if they're gonna do it like that. The amount of people far exceeds the number provided to the county for their septic engineering. Numbers provided are half of what she's proposing to us. So that septic field is not gonna be adequate for that many people. You add up all the guests and stuff throughout the week, and she's not putting on all the people. Because if she's got a hairdresser coming in, and a barber, because legally, barbers have to do barber stuff. My wife was petitioned, we had a shop in our old house. You legally have to have a license for both. The deed restrictions we were talking about, the planning commission, they're on 3 lots, and she was agreeing to that. But we need to make sure that those lots never get spent for special land for anything. Because we already got enough congestion right there with just that place. So like I said, this is part of, my neighbor's gonna have some more, a lot of them are on vacation, but I think there's a lot to this. She's not, she's lying. Like I said, I got the videos to prove it. The gate's a problem.
Thanks, Scott.
So, all right.
Anyone else? Chris?
Yeah, I just want to take issue with some of the board's comments about Carlisle Wortman being the residents' issue. First of all, Carlisle Wortman, over and over again, because I was in every one of those planning meetings for a long time, has kept trying to give legal advice, and at their own admission, do not have any legal staff on their staff. But they kept trying to interpret the law, and this is part of the problem. So the residents spoke out against that. And if you'll remember, this is exactly why the residents recommended bringing in specialists for the solar, wind, and battery, which gave us the retainer for Foster Swift, which was exactly the appropriate thing to do. So to blame residents for Carlisle Wortman's spineless ability to be able to say, oh, I can't handle comments like that from residents during public comment time. You don't need a planning person and outfit that does that. So please, I hope that you will encourage the new planners to be able to understand that if they're providing legal insights and legal advice, that they have legal representatives doing that, not just a planner who has no legal representation. So please, 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 stop blaming the residents for what issues that and by the way, any planning commissioner better accept resident input during public comments. That's part of this process. And if they can't, that's weakness we don't need in this township. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, being there's none, no more business, motion to adjourn?
So moved. Support.
Been motioned
In favor
and
of that.
supported to adjourn the meeting.
say, you
All
were
in favor
quick on
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
See if I get hold of my daughter's laptop and type that.
Okay.
But I was just wanting to see. My answer, so I got these surgeries on them.
I can write it, I can
I
write
have no
it.
surgeries and I still can't
Okay,
read.
I'm
Hey, I'll circle back with you sometime this week. I haven't been ignoring, I've just been crazy busy at work, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just don't, no, it's not that
Yeah.
I oppose the board, I just don't like making decisions for another board.
I didn't know if you wanted to get involved in it or not, that's all.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine.
I mean, I probably shouldn't when I'm on the board, Scott, and so, you know, well,
No, that's,
I'll talk about it.
yeah, no,
But that's the only.
I know, right?
I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference, I'm just saying.